The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. Now all the tax collectors and sinners were coming near to listen to Jesus. And the Pharisees and the scribes were grumbling and saying, "This man welcomes sinners and eats with them." And Jesus told them this parable. "What woman, if she has 10 silver coins and loses one coin, does not light a lamp and sweep the house and search carefully until she finds it? And when she has found it, she calls together her friends and neighbors, saying, 'Rejoice with me, for I have found a coin which I had lost.' In the same way, I tell you, there is joy in the presence of the angels of God over one sinner who repents." The Gospel of the Lord. So, good morning. Day 7, would you believe, in the Big Brother house. The final 3 days have begun, what we call the Triduum, the last 3 days of the Novena, and we encourage you to keep coming for the next few days. We're nearly there. And if you know someone maybe who hasn't been able to make it or not as often as they'd like, the last 3 days is an opportunity for them to come and join us in this great festival of our faith. Today, obviously, this morning, we're celebrating a different sacrament, the sacrament of reconciliation, which we will be doing at a few more sessions today, 4:30, 6 o'clock, and 7:30. Anyone wishing to attend Eucharist today, you come to the other services and you'll be able to have Mass. And anyone who goes to Mass and still wants confession and can't be at this service with us, there will be confessions heard in the confession boxes at the other times as well. Some people have been asking about our special Remembrance Mass for babies who died in the womb, at birth, or in infancy. This Mass will be celebrated this coming Sunday night at 7 o'clock here. So there's a box in C.S.R's shrine from today on the slips of paper where you can write down the names of the babies you wish to remember. Just write out the names on the card, and everything will be treated with the greatest of respect and confidentiality. Tickets are on sale for Liam Lawton Christmas concert, which will take place here on Tuesday, 10th of December. The tickets are available in reception at a price of €20 each. 47 years ago, Roger and Sally got married. And over the course of their long marriage, they were blessed in that they had 2 daughters together. But there was something missing. There was part of their family not there. Roger had another daughter in a previous relationship many years before. A daughter he wasn't allowed to see or have contact with. But Sally and Roger told their 2 daughters about their half-sister. And the whole family, all of them, all 4 of them, longed to meet and to see and to get to know this young girl. All they knew about her was her name, Valerie, and the only thing they had of her was a little photograph of Valerie as a baby in the bath, which Roger kept in his wallet. Over the years of their married life together, Roger and Sally changed jobs several times, which required them to move house a lot. In fact, over the years, they moved 38 times. In each new town that they moved to, they met new neighbours, they had a new home, and they met lots of new people all the time. And wherever they moved to, Roger always held, somewhere in the back of his mind or in his heart, a wonder. Will I see Valerie here today? For a parent like Roger, every child has immense value. For parents like that, There is no such thing as one child who doesn't matter. Each one is a treasure. Roger never once thought to himself, well, at least I have 2 out of the 3. That's not too bad. Loving parents never play a numbers game like that. They never play percentages like that. God's love is like the love of Roger and parents like him. The coin in the gospel parable today was a drachma, probably worth about a day's wages, so not a huge amount. You couldn't buy an awful lot with it. But that drachma was not valueless to that woman who went through incredible effort to find it. The kind of houses that this woman would have been living in, it was made out of a kind of stone that was very dark. So she needed to light that lamp. And she got on her knees and she brushed out every nook and cranny of the place, listening very closely. It was more likely she would hear the coin than see it. But she went through all the effort to find that coin. Something that belonged to her, that was precious to her, was missing. She needed to find it. God's love is like that. God's love treasures. God's love treasures each one of us, because there's no such thing as a life without value to God. There is no life, no person who is without value to our Lord, who gives us life. God treasures each and every one of his possessions, you and me. Roger really had no clue how to go about finding his daughter. She could have married and changed her name for all he knew, but he still carried that photo in his wallet. And every time he went anywhere near the town he knew she was born in, physically he went out onto the streets and looked up at posters and did everything he possibly could to see if he could find Valerie. Sally and himself bought phone books wherever they moved and scoured through them. And his other 2 daughters helped him go online, onto the internet, to try and track her down. Eventually, they came across a website that was helpful. It was a website where he was able to put off details of the story, of his search for Valerie, of his 47-year-long search that would never end. For Roger, there was no question of ever giving up or ever quitting. God's love is like that. God will seek and persist and never give up searching for us. After months and months of working with the people who were running the website, Roger heard sacred words. We found her. The 3 simplest and most beautiful words he had ever heard. We found her. After he'd made contact, and when Valerie eventually consented to meeting up with him, he got to speak to her on the phone, and he said to her, I'm completely packed and ready to go. My trip starts at 8 o'clock tonight, with a ferry ride, a shuttle ride, a flight, a 3-hour stopover, another flight, another shuttle ride, a car ride, and a hotel check-in. And then finally, we will be able to be together. Imagine their meeting. Imagine the joy and all of the other emotions. Imagine the sense of celebration. Imagine the joy and the celebration of God when you and I agree to meet him in this sacrament of God's mercy. No matter how long it has been, no matter how lost we think we are, when you and I see that that we are treasures to God. And when we see the effort that God will go to find us, however long it takes for us to agree to meet with God. An opportunity given to us here today. Just imagine God's rejoicing and the rejoicing of the entire family of God. So let's celebrate God's love in this sacrament today. We take a few moments to think of the ways in which we have been separated from God and God's love, the ways in which we have been lost and need God to find us again. Consider your relationship with God. Do you give God time? Do you pray when you can? How do you like to live with? Are there problems in your home that you pretend don't exist? Or maybe make worse? How are you towards other people? Are you tolerant and respectful? Do you pray for your enemies or people who have hurt you? And in your business dealings and in your financial dealings, are you honest? Do you pay your debts? The gifts and the energy and the talents you have, do you share them freely with those who need them?